He had billions, but dined alone.
In the dim glow of a roadside diner on a rainy Tuesday night, a man in a rumpled suit sat alone at a corner booth, staring into his black coffee as if it held the secrets to a life gone wrong. He was no ordinary patron, though no one knew it yet. His name was Elias Hawthorne, a tech billionaire who'd built an empire from nothing, only to watch it isolate him from everything that mattered. But tonight, as the storm raged outside, a simple waitress named Mia would slip him a note that would shatter his carefully laid plans and remind him what it meant to truly connect. Stick around till the end of this story, you won't believe how one act of kindness can rewrite a destiny. And if it touches your heart, hit that like button and subscribe for more inspiring tales that prove humanity's still alive and well. Elias had always been the kind of man who planned everything. From his first startup in a garage to the multi-million-dollar deals that made him one of the wealthiest people under 50, control was his lifeline. But lately, that control felt like a noose. His wife, Sarah, had passed away 2 years ago from a sudden illness, leaving him with a fortune that couldn't buy back time or fill the echoing void in his sprawling mansion. His 2 grown children had drifted away, busy with their own lives, resenting the absent father who'd prioritized boardrooms over bedtime stories. Elias had decided tonight would be the night he changed it all, or ended it, in a way. He'd driven hours out of the city in disguise, no bodyguards, no flashy car, just an old sedan and a plan to dine anonymously one last time before announcing his retirement and vanishing into obscurity. He'd donate most of his wealth to charities, sure, but anonymously, without fanfare. No more connections, no more risks. Solitude was safer. The diner, called Betty's Haven, was a relic from another era, checkered floors, vinyl booths, and the faint smell of grease and fresh pie. It was nearly empty, save for a trucker at the counter and an elderly couple sharing soup. Mia Thompson, the waitress on shift, wiped down tables with the weary grace of someone who'd been on her feet for 12 hours. At 32, she was a single mom to a bright-eyed 6-year-old named Lily, juggling 2 jobs to keep the lights on in their tiny apartment. Her ex had left when Lily was a baby, taking his dreams and leaving her with the bills. Mia had dreams too. Once, she'd wanted to be a teacher, inspiring kids like her own. But life had a way of derailing plans. Still, she smiled through it, believing that kindness was the one currency she could afford to give freely. Elias ordered simply, a burger, fries, and that endless coffee. He ate mechanically, his eyes distant, replaying memories of Sarah's laugh, the way she'd tease him about his workaholic ways. "Money can't hug you back, Eli," she'd say. He pushed the plate away half-eaten, signaling for the check. Mia noticed him from across the room, the way he avoided eye contact, the subtle slump in his shoulders. She'd seen lonely souls before, the diner attracted them like moths to a flame. But something about this man tugged at her. He looked like he carried the weight of the world, yet his clothes, though plain, were too well tailored for a drifter. On a whim, as she printed his bill, she grabbed a napkin and scribbled a note, "You look like you could use a friend tonight. Whatever's weighing on you, it's okay to share. Coffee's on me if you want to talk. Mia." Her hand trembled as she folded it. Was this crazy? She could lose her job. Betty, the owner, had strict rules about not getting personal with customers. Mia risked everything, tips were her lifeline, and one complaint could mean the end. But she'd learned from raising Lily that sometimes, the biggest risks came from the heart. She slid the note under his check, her heart pounding, and walked away without a word. Elias unfolded the napkin, his brow furrowing. The words hit him like a wave, simple, unassuming, yet piercing. No one had reached out to him like this in years. Not his executives, not his so-called friends. They saw the billionaire, not the broken man. He glanced up at Mia, who was now refilling the trucker's mug, laughing at some joke. She had laugh lines around her eyes, the kind that spoke of real joy amid hardship. For the first time in months, Elias felt a crack in his armor. His plan, to slip away unnoticed, to bury himself in isolation, suddenly felt cowardly. What if Sarah was right? What if connection was worth the risk? He paid the bill, leaving a generous tip that was more than Mia's weekly wage, but he didn't leave. Instead, he waited until her shift ended at midnight. As the rain slowed to a drizzle, Mia clocked out, surprised to see him lingering by the door. "You okay?" she asked, her voice cautious but kind. "I read your note," Elias said, his voice rough from disuse. "Why'd you write it? You don't know me." Mia shrugged, pulling on her coat. "Because everyone needs a reminder they're not alone. I've been there, nights when the world feels too heavy. Sometimes, a stranger's ear is all it takes." They ended up walking to the park across the street, sitting on a damp bench under a street lamp. Elias opened up slowly, like a dam cracking. He told her about Sarah, the empire that stole his family time, the emptiness of success. He confessed his plan, to disappear, donate quietly, and live out his days in seclusion. "I've got billions, but what's it worth if I'm dining alone every night?" Mia listened without judgment, sharing her own story, the ex who bailed, the dreams deferred, the joy of Lily's hugs that made it all bearable. "Money helps, sure," she said softly. "But it's the people who make life rich. I risk everything every day for my girl. Losing a job? That's nothing compared to losing heart." As the hours ticked by, Elias felt something shift. Mia's courage, the way she poured kindness into a world that hadn't been kind back, inspired him. His plan to vanish? It was a cop-out. Sarah wouldn't have wanted that. By dawn, as they parted ways, Elias had a new idea brewing. He asked for Mia's number, not for romance, but for something bigger. The next day, Mia woke to a frenzy. Her phone buzzed with messages from Betty. The tip Elias left had covered the diner's rent for a month. But that was just the start. Elias, true to his word, didn't disappear. Instead, he revealed himself, not as a flashy show-off, but as a man ready to change. He started with Mia, anonymously at first. He paid off her debts, funded Lily's education fund, and even helped her enroll in night classes to become a teacher. But he didn't stop there. Inspired by her note, he launched a foundation called Notes of Kindness, encouraging people to reach out to strangers in need. He shared his story on social media, not hiding his wealth but using it to spotlight everyday heroes like Mia. Challenges arose, of course. Elias's children, skeptical at first, accused him of a midlife crisis. "Dad, you're throwing money at strangers," his son argued over a tense dinner. Elias admitted his past mistakes, the absences, the priorities gone wrong. It took tearful conversations, but slowly, bridges rebuilt. His daughter visited more, sharing stories of her own struggles, and they bonded over memories of Sarah. For Mia, the sudden windfall brought its own hurdles. Friends grew jealous, rumors swirled that she'd tricked a rich man. Lily, sensing the change, asked innocent questions. "Mommy, why is that man helping us?" Mia navigated it with grace, teaching her daughter about gratitude and paying it forward. She volunteered at the foundation, helping others write their own notes, literal messages of hope slipped into coffees, left on windshields, shared online. One key challenge came when Elias faced a business scandal. An old rival leaked false stories about his foundation being a tax dodge. The media swarmed, questioning his motives. Elias wavered, tempted to retreat into his old shell. But Mia, risking her newfound stability, stood by him publicly. "I know his heart," she said in a viral interview. "One note changed everything for him, and for me. Kindness isn't about perfection, it's about trying." The resolution was hard-won. Elias cleared his name with transparency, sharing financials and stories from beneficiaries. The foundation grew, funding community diners like Betty's, where lonely souls could find connection. Mia graduated as a teacher, her classroom filled with kids like Lily, inspiring them to dream big despite odds. Months later, Elias dined at Betty's again, not alone this time. Mia, Lily, and his own children joined him, laughter filling the booth. His plan had changed entirely, from isolation to impact, from secret millionaire to open-hearted giver. As they raised glasses to new beginnings, Elias whispered to Mia, "Your note didn't just change my plan, it saved my life." And that's the power of a single act of kindness. It can ripple out, touching lives you never imagined. If this story moved you, reminded you that we're all just one note away from connection, then smash that like button below. It helps spread these tales further. And don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell for notifications so you never miss another story that proves hope is always on the menu. Who knows? Your own note of kindness could be the next one to change everything.